say, bitch bad.
So let's take it back to 2006. Pretty much the year that we knew that Lupe Fiasco was on the grind was the name that we know today. It said that Jay-Z was a big deal, that you're getting your deal at your label. How did that come about?
Jay-Z was due to a friend of my partner. Actually, no, a friend of my partner. It wasn't that many degrees of separation. I was actually intricate in Jay-Z's career in a certain capacity. He was actually, at that time, one of the main A&Rs at Interscope. Jay-Z was in town in Chicago, just happened to be in town one day. And he said, go up there and meet Jay-Z. Went and met Jay-Z and spit a verse for him. He's like, that's cool, you can come out to New York. Next time we're in New York, look us up. So we got the call, went out to New York, went to Baseline Studios, just kind of Rockefeller Central. Just kind of started to build that rapport with Jay, and it was eventually led to, and actually ultimately declining a record contract with Rockefeller Records. And it was like, nah, because me and my partner had already started First and 15. And I just left a record deal where I was just an artist, and I made like a promise to myself that I would never be in a situation where I was just an artist, signed to someone at the whims of whomever. And from that moment on, Jay-Z has always, after declining, we still stayed in contact, some artistically with me and more in business and with my partner. And then went on and put out our first record. Came in and was executive producer. But even when I was on Arista, he came in and had a meeting. That was actually the first time that Ellie Reed and Jay-Z met. So it was like 04, I think, or something like that. To kind of lock in the seriousness of Lupe Fiasco at that time, to give me his cosign. And leading with the Food and Liquor, with the executive production credit, and kind of putting the stamp in there. Here we are today, I guess.
All right. So what changed for you that day happened to stamp the deal in Lupe's mind? What was going through your mind like after you signed the contract? What was it?
I can't remember, to be honest. There was definitely a feeling that you've made it, I guess. But I'd already been on 2 record labels, so just kind of like, it was just another thing, like the saga continues, with that. Unfortunately, with those deals, we hadn't released any music. That was the only kind of difference. Whereas with this one, we released some music, but nothing in the album, body of work kind of realm. And so that was kind of like the only difference. It was like, okay, now we get to seriously put together and put out a body of work, for sale.
Good deal. So speaking on that first album, let's go back to it. The concept of the album name, what were you thinking when you did it? Just give us a little info on it.
Oh man, it's quite fitting that it's, we just brought up duality, because it's about food and liquor. For me, I think alcohol is terrible. I think it's one of the worst things man has ever created. But, and I always critique myself. I critique myself more than I critique anybody else. But, in certain times in history, if you drank the water, you die. So everybody had to drink beer. Right. So it's kind of, oh, wow. How do you explain that, Lupe? But today it's not the case. And so for me, it's liquor has a negative connotation, and food has a positive connotation. But I believe that everybody, and they represent human nature. It's a representation of human nature. So it's me expressing what I think is the basic thing that runs through us all, which is a little bit of food, and a little bit of liquor, a little bit of sense, and a little bit of nonsense, a little bit of intelligence, and a little bit of stupidity, a little bit of righteousness, a little bit of not so righteous, a little strip club action. But we made up all that, the preacher, the thief. Everyone has depending on what the situation is, and depending upon what they're trying to achieve, they will, save a baby at the expense of a train full of people dying. And then it would, the reverse, they would kill a train full of people to save a baby, depending on what the circumstance is. And everybody's made it. And in one instance, there'll be a hero. In the next instance, there'll be, a terrorist. So I see that nobody can escape that. Nobody I've met has ever escaped that. Nobody I've ever researched has ever escaped that paradox of human nature. Martin Luther King, God rest his soul, Malcolm X, James Baldwin, Gandhi. Everyone has had, certain hypocritical instances. But I don't really dwell in either or. I dwell in both because I believe that it's both. That's why it's food and liquor.
That's a good answer. All right, y'all. So y'all give it up for Lupe.
I said, bitch bad, woman good, lady better. Hey, 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 hey. Now imagine there's a shorty, maybe 5, maybe 4, riding around with his mama listening to the radio, and a song comes on, and I'm not far from being born. Doesn't know that